The mysterious girl on the ship. Leo stood at the docking bay, watching the massive colony ship glow under the stars. It was his first time leaving Earth. He had joined the mission to help build a new home on a distant planet. As the engines hummed, he walked through the ship's corridors carrying only a small bag and big dreams. The ship was crowded with many species. Aliens from different planets lived here. Tall ones with glowing eyes, short ones with scales, and even ones that floated in the air. But one girl stood out. She was beautiful, not just because of her glowing purple eyes or soft blue skin, but because she had something human in her. She wore a long silver cloak and her hair shimmered like moonlight. Every time Leo passed by her, she looked at him and then quickly turned away. At first, he ignored it. Maybe she was just curious, like many aliens who had never seen Earthlings up close. But after the 5th time she stared, Leo began to wonder. There was something familiar about her eyes. Later that night, Leo sat in the ship's dining hall, eating synthetic noodles. He felt someone sit across from him. When he looked up, it was her. The alien girl looked nervous. Her hands trembled slightly. Then she spoke, her voice soft and unsure. "Do you recognize me, human?" Leo blinked. Her voice had a strange accent, but the words were clear. He shook his head. "No. Should I?" She looked down, hurt flickering in her eyes. Then she whispered something that made his heart stop. "I'm your childhood neighbor." Leo almost dropped his fork. "What?" "That's not possible." Her lips trembled, but she nodded slowly. "You lived in the spaceport colony on Titan, didn't you? Your family had a dog named Rocket. You used to bring me sugar candies, you remember?" Leo's heart raced. Those were memories he hadn't thought about in years. His neighbor had been a girl named Elia. Sweet, kind, always smiling. But she had died when raiders attacked the colony. The authorities had told everyone that her body was never found. I don't understand," Leo said. "Elia died. That was over 10 years ago." The alien girl smiled sadly. "No, Leo. I was taken. I was badly hurt. Some alien doctors saved me, but they had to change me to save me. I became like them." Leo leaned back, his mind spinning. Could it be true? Could this alien girl really be Elia? She looked into his eyes. "You once said you'd protect me forever, even when we were just kids." He remembered saying those words. He had been just 10 years old, and she had been 8. He remembered holding her hand under the stars and making that promise. Still, doubt lingered in his heart. "How do I know you're not lying?" he asked. She reached into her cloak and pulled out a small, rusty pendant, a tiny heart-shaped locket. "This was yours," she said. "You gave it to me when I cried the night my parents fought. You said it would protect me." Leo gasped. He hadn't seen that locket since childhood. It had his name scratched into the back. His hands trembled as he took it. "Elia." She nodded, tears forming in her glowing eyes. Leo felt like his world had turned upside down. How could a girl he once knew turn into this alien beauty? Why did she wait so long to come back? Before he could ask more, the ship's lights flickered. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the intercom. "Warning. Unauthorized data breach detected. Near Deck 9. The alien girl's expression changed. "Fear. They found me," she whispered. "I shouldn't have talked to you so soon." Leo stood up. "Wait, who found you?" She didn't answer. She stood quickly, pulling her cloak tight. "I'll find you again, Leo. But if they catch me first, run." Before he could stop, she vanished into the crowd. Leo stood frozen, the old locket clutched in his hand, heart pounding. Questions swirled in his mind. Was she really Elia? Why was someone after her? And most of all, why did he still feel the same warmth in his chest as he did all those years ago? The truth beneath the skin. Leo couldn't sleep that night. He lay in his small bunk, the pendant clutched tightly in his hand. His mind kept repeating the words the alien girl had said. "Do you recognize me?" And I'm your childhood neighbor. He wanted to believe her. Every detail she gave was correct, his dog's name, the locket, even the candy. But how could a human girl become that? The next morning, he walked the halls of the ship, searching every face, every corner. But the alien girl, Elira, was gone. She had disappeared. That afternoon, Leo was called to the security bay. He entered the cold metal room where two officers stood behind a thick glass wall. On the screen, images from surveillance footage were playing. One clip paused on the alien girl's face. "Do you know her?" one officer asked. Leo hesitated. "Not really. I just saw her a few times." The officer raised an eyebrow. "She's a genetic anomaly. Doesn't match any known species. We suspect she's using illegal DNA modulation tech, possibly part of a failed alien experiment." Leo's heart dropped. "She approached you yesterday," the officer continued. "We need to know what she said," Leo lied. "Just asked for directions, that's all." They looked at him for a long moment, then let him go. But now, Leo knew. She was being hunted, and he had just protected her. Later, Leo returned to the back of the ship, where the waste disposal pipes created heat clouds. It was a hidden spot. He used to visit when he wanted to be alone. But today, someone was already there. Her, Elira. Her cloak was gone, and her alien features were fully visible. Glowing skin, faint markings across her neck, and long silver-blue hair that floated slightly in the heat. "I knew you'd come here," she said softly. Leo stepped closer. "Why are they after you?" She looked down. "Because I wasn't supposed to survive." Leo didn't understand. Elira sat on the metal floor, her voice quiet. "When my family was attacked, I was rescued by alien scientists. They put me in a program to test if human DNA could be mixed with their own, to create peace." Leo sat beside her. "So, you're part human?" "Yes," she said. "My memories stayed. My heart stayed. But my body changed." She looked at her hands. Elegant, glowing, not human. "They erased everything about me from the system. To the world, I was dead, but I lived. And I never forgot you." Leo's throat tightened. The girl he had once promised to protect was sitting right here, but changed into something else. "But why come back now?" he asked. "Because I was dying," she whispered. "I escaped their labs, and I remembered your face. I had nowhere else to go." Leo reached for her hand. She flinched at first, but then let him hold it. "It doesn't matter what you look like," Leo said. "You're still Elia to me." She looked at him with teary eyes, whispering, "They call me Elira now." Suddenly, a red alarm light flashed above them. "Security breach on lower deck," a voice called. "Subject located." Elira jumped to her feet. "They're here." Leo stood, heart racing. "Come with me." They ran through the narrow tunnels under the ship's cooling systems. Alarms blared above. Drones zipped through the halls, scanning for heat signatures. They stopped at an old maintenance door. Leo hacked it open with his ID chip and they slipped inside. The room was full of old power cells and broken droids, a perfect hiding spot. They stayed silent, breathing hard. Then, Elira spoke again, her voice shaking. "I never meant to bring danger to you. I just needed someone to remember me." Leo looked at her, really looked this time. Behind the alien glow, he saw the little girl he once played with, the girl who believed in stars, candy, and love. "I remember," he said. "And I'm not letting you go again." Whispers in the dark. Leo and Elira stayed hidden inside the dusty maintenance room for hours. Only the soft buzz of broken machines and flickering lights filled the silence. Elira sat on the floor, hugging her knees. She looked calm, but Leo could see the fear in her glowing eyes. "What will they do if they catch you?" Leo finally asked. She didn't answer at first. Then she whispered, "They'll erase me." Leo frowned. "Erase you? Like, kill you?" "No," she said. "They'll wipe my memories, my emotions, everything human in me. I'll still live, but I won't be me anymore. Leo felt a chill run through him. To lose your soul but not your body, it was worse than death. Why? He asked. Why go through all this trouble? Elira looked at him. Because I know something they don't want anyone to find. She reached into her suit and pulled out a small cube, a strange alien device glowing with soft blue light. Leo leaned closer. What is it? She held it tightly. It's my memory core. It holds everything. Proof of who I was and what they did to me. Just then, the lights flickered. A soft click echoed outside the door. Footsteps. Leo held his breath. Elira froze. A mechanical voice spoke outside. Subject A99, you are ordered to surrender peacefully. Leo's heart raced. The door handle moved, but didn't open. They had locked it from inside. Don't worry, Leo whispered. We'll find a way out. After a moment, the footsteps faded away, but Elira was shaking. They're getting closer, she said. We have to move soon, but I need your help. Leo looked at her. What do you want me to do? She held up the memory cube. This contains the truth about the project I was in. If I can reach the ship's uplink center, I can send it to the Human Alliance and the Galactic Council. They'll know I'm not a weapon. Leo nodded. Then we'll get it there. Together, the next morning they left the hiding place and snuck into the lower cargo decks. This part of the ship was abandoned, old crates, unused parts, and flickering lights. As they moved carefully, Leo asked, Why me, Elira? Why did you find me? After all these years? She paused and looked at him. Because you're the only one who never treated me like I was broken, even when we were kids. Leo smiled faintly. You were always stronger than me. She returned the smile, but it faded fast, because ahead of them stood a figure, tall, cloaked in black armor, not human. Elira pulled Leo behind a crate. It's one of them, a shadow operative. Leo peeked over the edge. The figure stood still, its eyes glowing red. It was scanning the area. Elira whispered, He's here to destroy the memory core. Leo clenched his fists. Then we can't let him find us. But the cube in Elira's hand started blinking, faster. Someone's trying to hack it, she said, panicked. Leo quickly looked around. Then he saw it, a small maintenance shaft in the wall, barely wide enough for one person. In there, he said. Elira slid inside first. Then Leo followed. The shaft was narrow, dark, and filled with hot air. They crawled through in silence until Leo heard something strange. A whisper. At first he thought it was Elira, but she wasn't speaking. The voice was distant, electronic. It echoed through the metal walls. You are not real. You were never meant to be. Leo froze. Did you hear that? Elira nodded, her face pale. They've started the memory corruption. The cube is talking back. Leo looked at the glowing cube in her hand. The light was pulsing like a heartbeat. Suddenly, Elira groaned and held her head. It's showing me things. What do you see? Leo asked. I see. Experiments, needles, pain, and my father, he was there. Leo was shocked. Your father? But he died in the attack. No, Elira whispered. He wasn't killed. He gave me to them. They reached the end of the shaft and dropped down into a dim tech lab. Elira was breathing fast, her hands trembling. I trusted him, she said, tears falling. He let them take me. Leo stepped forward and held her gently. He made his choice. Now we make ours. He looked at the cube. It still glowed, still pulsed, still whispered. And now the truth wasn't just about Elira, it was about betrayal, family, and a hidden war that Leo was now part of. Escape into the unknown. The lab was silent, but not safe. Leo helped Elira to her feet. Her breathing was shaky and the memory cube in her hands pulsed faster now like it was alive. The cube whispered strange sounds, broken words, images, voices from the past. Elira's body was trembling. Not from fear, something else. "The cube," she said, voice weak. "It's unlocking too fast. I'm remembering everything at once." Leo held her shoulders firmly. "Focus on me. You're not alone." Her glowing eyes met his, and for a moment she calmed. But then, boom! The door to the lab exploded open in a burst of smoke and metal. Two dark figures in alien armor stormed in, holding stun rifles. Their helmets glowed with red slits. Leo grabbed Elira's hand. "Run!" They sprinted through the back of the lab, crashing into shelves and tripping over cables. Behind them, the soldiers shouted commands in a strange language, firing stun bolts that scorched the air around them. They entered a long, rusted hallway, barely lit by emergency lights. "Where are we going?" Elira gasped. Leo pointed to a sealed hatch marked Emergency Dock Pod Number 37. Off this ship. The escape pod was old, scratched, dusty. Probably hadn't flown in years, but it was their only chance. Leo slammed his hand on the control panel. Come on, come on!" The pod door opened with a wheeze. Just as they jumped inside, a stun blast hit the wall behind them, nearly knocking them off balance. The pod sealed shut and launched. The force threw them back as stars streaked outside. The window. They were flying into the unknown. Silence filled the small pod, broken only by Elira's shallow breathing. Leo sat beside her, watching her clutch the memory cube. "I saw him," she whispered suddenly. "My father. The day he handed me to them." Leo listened. "I was sedated, but I remember now. He stood there while they injected me. He said I was too weak to stay human, that I had to become something better." Tears streamed down her cheeks. "I thought he loved me." Leo gently wiped her face. "You are better, not because of what they did, but because you survived." The pod jolted suddenly. A warning beep echoed. They looked at the screen. No destination programmed. Leo cursed under his breath. "We launched blind. No star path, no coordinates." Elira looked out the window at the vast darkness. "We could end up anywhere." Leo checked the pod systems. "There's one nearby moon with oxygen levels, and barely." He hesitated, then hit the redirect button. The pod curved toward a dark gray moon covered in fog. The landing was rough. The pod crashed into the muddy surface, sliding across rocks and dirt before finally stopping with a thud. Smoke filled the cabin. Leo kicked the door open. The sky was gray. Lightning flashed silently in the clouds. The wind howled across the broken landscape. They stepped outside. Elira stumbled, but Leo held her steady. "This place is dead," she whispered. "No," Leo said, looking around. "It's forgotten. That's what we need." They walked toward an old ruin they spotted nearby, twisted towers of metal and stone. As they entered, the cube in Elira's hand pulsed again. But this time, it projected something. A small hologram formed in the air. It showed a room, an operating table, Elira, as a child screaming. Her father's face appeared, calm, cold, watching. Leo looked away. Elira stared, frozen. Then the cube said something that made both of them stop breathing. "Experiment A99. Successful hybrid, programmable loyalty sequence initiated." Elira dropped the cube. "What does that mean?" Leo picked it up. "Programmable? You're not a weapon." But she wasn't sure anymore. Was she still herself? Or had they left something inside her? A switch? A control? "I don't want to hurt you," she whispered. Leo took her hand. "Then don't believe their lies. We choose who we are, not them." As they hid inside the ruin, lightning cracked above them. The storm was growing, but so was the bond between them, and far above, in the cold space they escaped from, a ship changed course. Something was coming for them, but this time, they weren't running. The bond awakens. The storm outside howled like a beast in pain. Inside the ruined alien building, Leo and Elira sat close to a small fire made from broken insulation wire and energy cells. The shelter's walls shook with each gust of wind, but they had no other place to go. Elira's eyes reflected the flickering flames. She held the memory cube tight, but it no longer pulsed. It was sleeping, like it had said enough. For now. Leo looked at her. "Are you okay?" Elira didn't answer right away, then she whispered, "I'm afraid I'll lose myself." Leo moved closer. "You haven't." "But what if they trigger something inside me?" she asked. "What if they send a signal, and I become their weapon?" Leo didn't blink. "Then I'll stop you." She looked up, surprised. He smiled. "Because I'd rather fight you and bring you back than ever give up on you." Elira's breath caught. She stared at him, eyes wide. No one had ever said something like that to her. Suddenly, a soft chime came from the cube. A new message played in a robotic voice. Emotion link detected. Human subject, Leo 17 is now bonded. They both froze. Leo blinked. Bonded? What does that mean? Elira's skin glowed slightly brighter. It's something rare. In my altered biology, emotional energy affects me physically. If I form a deep bond with someone, it activates new defenses. And sometimes new memories. Leo scratched his head. So, being close to me makes you stronger? Elira laughed softly. More like safer. You're my anchor. The bond helps block the programming. Leo looked serious. Then I'm staying with you. Always. They spent the next few hours setting up a better shelter inside the ruins. They found half-broken machines, dusty records from a long-gone alien race, and old star maps carved into the stone. While exploring one chamber, Elira touched the wall, and it lit up. Ancient symbols glowed. "Leo," she whispered. "I've seen this before, in a dream, or maybe a memory." The wall shifted, revealing a small hidden room. Inside was a device like a throne, but clearly meant for someone hybrid. Not fully alien, not fully human. Elira stepped closer. "I think this place was built for someone like me." Leo frowned. "But how could that be? This place looks thousands of years old." Elira placed her hand on the throne-like chair. Suddenly her body glowed, and the cube floated into the air on its own. A voice echoed through the chamber, deep and ancient. "Prototype Elira. Activation sequence complete. Welcome home." Leo stepped back as a hologram of a long-dead alien appeared. The figure bowed to Elira. "You were never made to be a weapon," it said. "You were born to be the bridge between species, the peacekeeper, the future." Tears welled in Elira's eyes. All her life, she thought she was a mistake. But here, on a forgotten moon, was proof that she was meant for something greater. Outside, the storm began to calm. The sky opened slightly, revealing stars. Leo walked over and gently took her hand. "You're not alone anymore," he said. "I know," she replied, voice trembling. "And it's because of you." Their fingers interlocked. For the first time in years, Elira felt whole. But far above them, something moved through space. A new ship had entered orbit, and it wasn't friendly. The memory core, a dark shadow passed over the ruin. Leo looked up, at the sky through the cracks in the roof. A sleek black ship hovered above the moon like a silent predator. No markings, no lights, just death. "They found us," Leo said, grabbing Elira's hand. Elira stared at the sky, but her mind was focused on the glowing chair behind her. The alien throne had revealed the truth. She wasn't a failed experiment, she was the key. Inside her body, and inside the cube, was something the galaxy had forgotten. The memory core. A living map of all lost peace attempts between humans and aliens, created centuries ago by a hidden council. A last hope for unity, but someone wanted that hope destroyed. "We have to transmit the core," Elira said. "Now," Leo nodded. "Where?" She pointed deeper into the ruin. "There's a transmitter. I felt it unlock when I sat on the chair." And behind them the black ship landed silently. 3 tall armored figures stepped out. Their suits glowed red. Their steps made no sound. They weren't just hunters. They were silencers. Inside the final chamber of the ruin, a glowing platform hovered in midair. Ancient symbols floated around it like it was built to send messages through time itself. Elira stepped onto the platform holding the cube. "Keep watch," she told Leo. He stood by the door, holding a broken alien tool like a weapon. He wasn't trained, but he wouldn't let anyone touch her. The cube floated above the platform. "Beginning transmission," the ancient voice said. But just as the platform powered up, crash, the roof shattered. A silencer dropped down like a falling shadow. Leo lunged forward, swinging the metal tool. Clang! The hit knocked the silencer back for a second, but not for long. Elira's hands trembled as she focused on the cube. Almost. There? Another silencer appeared. Then a third. They surrounded her. Leo charged the closest one, roaring, "Stay away from her!" He got thrown across the room, but it bought Elira time. The cube flashed. Then, transmission complete. Backup uploaded. A beam of blue light shot into the sky. One of the silencers screamed in a mechanical voice. "She sent it!" Another raised its weapon at her. Leo, bleeding and barely able to stand, stood between them. "You'll have to go through me." Suddenly, Elira's body began to glow brighter than ever. Her eyes shone like twin stars. The bond between her and Leo, strengthened by love, trust, and pain, activated something hidden. A defense code. Her skin formed a glowing shield. A ring of energy exploded from her body, throwing the silencers back. The cube's voice echoed once more. "Prototype Elira. Full hybrid status unlocked. Protector engaged." Leo watched in awe as she stood tall, glowing with power, not as a weapon, but as a guardian of peace. Elira looked at the enemy. "This is my choice," she said. "You can't silence me anymore." The silencers retreated. Their mission had failed. The message was sent. The truth was free, and the world would soon learn that peace had a name. Elira. Later that night, Leo and Elira sat quietly under the moonlight, their backs against the ancient throne. Her head rested on his shoulder. "You were willing to die for me," she whispered. "I told you," Leo replied. "I never forgot you." She smiled, glowing softly in the night. "And now the galaxy will never forget us. I never forgot you." The stars above the broken moon burned brighter than ever before. Leo stood on the edge of a cliff, his jacket torn, his arm wrapped in bandages. Beside him, Elira stood tall, her body no longer trembling, her silver blue hair glowing in the wind like firelight. They watched as dozens of ships entered the moon's orbit. Some bore human flags. Others flew alien symbols never before seen on Earth. But all of them had come for one reason. The truth Elira had sent was out. Far below, at the base of the ruins, a temporary council had gathered. Ambassadors from alien species once at war stood together in silence. They had seen the memory core footage. They had heard the voices from the past. They had seen the betrayal and the hope. And they had seen her, a living bridge, a hybrid who should never have survived, but did. Leo and Elira walked down the rocky path to the gathering, every eye turned toward them. Whispers moved like wind through the crowd. "That's her. She's the one. And him, the human who stood with her." They reached the circle. A tall alien with golden skin stepped forward. His voice was deep and calm. "Prototype Elira, do you come in peace?" Elira looked him in the eyes. "I come in truth, and I come as myself, not as a weapon, not as a project, but as someone who chose love over fear." She reached for Leo's hand. He held it without hesitation. The golden-skinned alien turned to the others. "Then let the new era begin." The crowd parted. A small platform was raised, with a single chair made from both alien crystal and human steel. Illyra looked surprised. "What is that?" Leo smiled. "Looks like they want you to lead something." She laughed. "I didn't come to rule." He nodded. "But maybe you came to inspire." She didn't answer. She just stepped forward, standing beside the chair, not on it. "I'm not above you," she said loudly to the crowd. "I'm one of you. I've lived as both, hurt as both, loved as both. And today, I ask that we stop choosing sides." Her voice shook with power. "I choose us." Later that evening, as the council began to talk, debate, and plan the future, Leo and Illyra slipped away. They sat under a tree with glowing blue leaves, far from the noise. Just the two of them again. Illyra looked at the stars. "It's strange. For so long I thought I was alone. A mistake. Something to be erased." Leo leaned back against the trunk. "And now?" She smiled gently. "Now I know I was waiting for one human to remember me." Leo turned to her, his voice soft. "I remembered the moment I saw your eyes." Illyra's eyes shimmered. "You never gave up on me." "I couldn't," he said. "You were my best friend, my promise, my home." She leaned in. Their foreheads touched. No more fear. No more questions. Only two souls who had crossed galaxies, pain, and war to find each other again. The memory core was no longer just a machine. It became a symbol, and long after the stars changed, and the moon was no longer forgotten, children of both worlds told the same story, of the alien beauty who returned, and the human who never forgot her.